Explosion everyone, welcome back to your beloved Atomic Chess Speedrun, the series about me speedrunning the arguably most aggressive chess variant available on chess.com. And without any further ado, let's get into today's content. First game, we get a 1355 from the US. Knight c3. Knight f6. This series should have been over since last week, as I had officially reached the 2000 rated checkpoint. But it came to me that I actually have never lost even a single game in this variant yet. Therefore I decided that the series should be continued, at least until I eventually get my first loss. Probably a random Indian guy is going to defeat me soon enough. Knight f3. That blunders a king. Knight g4. His f-pawn is trapped. That was quick. Next game, let's go. We get a 2100 rated guy from India. Aha. I see. Knight f3. f6 is kinda forced. e3. Aha. He's threatening to sacrifice his knight, and then there is queen h5 g6 queen d5, forking two very lethal squares, and there is physically no way I can defend both of them. Therefore, e6. Knight d4. f5. This is not optimal, by the way. Of course, moving a pawn twice in the opening is definitely not a good idea. But I actually haven't studied any openings. So I suppose I'll just throw him off his preps by breaking a fundamental opening rule of thumb. Queen h5 check. g6 is kinda forced. Queen g5. I have to trade. Knight b5. That knight forks a lot of pieces, and since there doesn't seem to be a way to save everything, I'll choose to save the rook. Man, I really have to study openings if I want to actually climb higher. Kaboom. Knight f6. Threatening knight e4, forking two pawns next to his king. f3. Bishop d6. Threatening bishop takes h2, exploding his rook. This guy sees everything. f4. Threatening to capture on g3 and reopens up the way for the bishop to explode on h2. Bishop c4. Aha. Now I cannot take on g3 anymore because he will immediately explode both of my pieces. Bishop b4 instead. He takes my knight. I take his king. Castle. For context, both sides haven't even used any time yet. The game has been very straightforward until now. Bishop c3. Threatening to explode three pieces. At least this can force him to take my bishop and I win back a pawn. D takes c3. Rook c8. c4. Castle. Knight c3. Okay, I finally see a chance to counter-attack. d5. If he takes my rook and come to the open d-file, if he doesn't, I can push d4 and he cannot capture anymore, as it will also explode his knight. He doesn't take. d4. This pawn looks very promising. He takes f3. Aha. He is sacrificing his knight to take out my d-pawn, which makes sense because it doesn't seem like he has any other choices, but of course, as I also know about that, why not try to push it further? Bishop h6. Rook d8. Knight e4. d2. He sacrificed his bishop. Knight takes e4. I want to go rook d2. If rook d1, I lose the game. Alright, we're in a king and pawn endgame where I'm down a pawn, and since the kings in this variant cannot capture, the rest of the game is just me trying to draw the game. I'll show you the quickened version of the moves. And that concludes our first ever loss in atomic chess. I mean, maybe I could have drawn this game had I traded off all of my pawns. My endgame can definitely improve in the future. But anyway. 1 win and 1 loss. 1 win is 100% win rate, 1 loss is minus 100% win rate. 100% to the power of minus 100%. Atomic chess speedrun today. 100% win rate.